Welcome friends. Today we are making over my entryway. Over the past few years, we have been slowly but surely transforming our builder grade house into a home, but up until this point, the entryway has been left a blank canvas. There's a sideboard and mirror that we've had for a couple of years now, and literally nothing else. And it's a big hallway. So over the next few days, I am on a mission to bring this entryway to life. We're going to inject warmth and character. I love the look of picture frame molding, especially in an entryway, so we're going to add that. I want to paint the doors, the trim. It's all white right now, so we're going to layer in artwork, rugs, lighting, and then we need seating too. Right now, if you're trying to put on your shoes, you need to walk all the way over to the living room in order to put on your shoes. So bringing some kind of seating situation in here, I think will make a huge difference. So that's a bit of the vision for where we're headed. I am so excited to see this space come to life. So let's get started now and make over our entryway.
Just like with any good home project, I kicked things off with a trip to Lowe's to browse for supplies, which a big thank you to Lowe's for sponsoring today's video. I wanted to get some paint samples and pick out trim. I feel like it's one thing to look up paint colors online, but there really is something just so helpful about tangibly seeing them in person. So I narrowed it down to a handful of paint colors that I wanted to sample at home, and then also made some decisions on trim.
We are back from Lowe's with our paint samples. We're going to be swatching three very different colors. We've got a beige here, a blue-green color, and then this is, I'd say, more of like a true green. The lighting in this space is pretty challenging. It gets very little light in the morning, so it's very dark, very blue-gray tones in here in the morning, and then as you can see, we've got some pretty nice afternoon sunlight on this end now, but that end still feels pretty dark, and just generally is probably one of the darker spots in our home. So I think getting these up on the walls and seeing what they look like in our actual space is going to be really important. And these were literally just mixed, so I feel like they'll probably be fine to use out of the can. Okay, first color, this is Accessible Beige. It's definitely the safest option. I mean, that's really nice. Option 2, this is Sea Salt, like a nice light muted blue-green color. And this one's our wild card. I think it's called Svelte Sage. It's kind of hard to read. It's definitely the darkest of the three. Okay, giving these a bit of a chance to dry. Now what we're gonna do is I want to hang them up overnight, give ourselves a chance to see what they look like in different lighting situations and to see which color I'm really drawn to. Ooh, I kind of feel like I'm being drawn to this one. I feel like this might be a bit dark for the room. They're all very different, but I really like the undertones of all of them. This is gonna be a hard decision. Okay, it's the next day. As you can see, I did a little taping last night. I was trying to get a feeling for how tall I wanted the picture frame molding, the chair rail to be, and just to figure out how much of the different siding that we needed. So taped everything out. I'm really excited kind of getting this visual to see how it comes together. But trying to pick paint right now, and I think I've narrowed it down to one of these two. This is the Accessible Beige and Sea Salt. I do like the green, but we've used green elsewhere in our house, and I don't just want it to be the main color in our space. And I am feeling just more drawn to these two. So here's what they look like with, this is actually a combination of, we have natural light from the window and artificial light, but I feel like either would look great in here. So now I'm just trying to figure out what's going to look best with some of the other pieces that we have for the entryway, which let me show you. I picked up a few things when I was at Lowe's yesterday. Then I also placed an online order a couple of days ago, which came really fast. Lowe's offers free shipping on orders of $45 or more, I believe. So let me show you some of the other pieces that I want to incorporate into this space. We've got this lantern style ceiling light. I am so excited to replace. We have just like a builder grade light up here right now. It's nothing special. We've replaced most of the other lights in our house. I think this is the last one we have from when our house was originally built. So excited to put this one in. And I picked up some of these candelabra style light bulbs to go with it. We're also going to be putting in a couple of picture lights. Now there's no wiring or even actually a plug on that entire long wall, but these don't require that. It's battery operated, so it's going to allow us to incorporate some additional light in this space without actually needing wiring for it. I mean, this is just so pretty. The size of of it. I love how chunky it is. I think that will look so good, honestly, with either, but ooh, I think that with the sea salt, that's just gorgeous. So those are the lights I picked up. I got 2 of those picture lights. But then the other big thing that I think is going to influence our decision is the rugs. Because this is a super long space, it's 20 feet long, I decided to get 2 rugs. So I got one longer runner and then a smaller one that we'll put by the door. This is the long one. Look at it. How pretty is the scalloped detailing on this? I feel like this will add some really nice texture or help break up the wood a bit. Again, I feel like we could go either color with this. This one blends in a bit more, this one contrasts more, and then same kind of color wave but a different pattern. I picked up this 2x3 rug. My plan is just to put this right in front of the door. I kind of like how they complement without completely matching each other. Yeah, I don't know, I think sea salt's our winner. I'll call it now. This is the color we're going with. I'll link to everything I picked up in the description box below, but Lowe's really is such a great option to shop all your home needs at affordable prices.
All right, but then with the big decisions made, we were ready to properly get started. Our plan was to do picture frame molding along each wall with a chair rail running above it. So we began by cutting all the trim we need for the project to size, and this was actually a bit tricky because pretty much every single wall was a different length, and you want to be really precise about the cuts that you're making so that everything lines up. So we started fairly slow, but after a few, got the hang of it. Then once everything was cut, we began installing it, starting with the chair rail. And for the install, we used a laser level to ensure each trim piece was perfectly straight. This is actually our first time using. I got Christopher a laser level last Christmas. It was our first big project using it. It made such a difference. Then we used a combination of liquid nails and brad nails to secure them all in place. Then for the picture frame molding, we followed essentially the same process. Really the only difference was because we knew we wanted them all to be 4 inches apart, we just cut a couple of 4-inch spacers to size to help more quickly and easily line up where each trim piece needed to go. Then once all the moldings were up, and can you tell we took full advantage of our toddler-free evening hours, we went in with this Minwax wood filler to fill in the holes created by the brad nails and to disguise the corner seams in each of the frames. All right, then the next morning, once the wood filler had had plenty of time to dry, we went back in and sanded it down to create a nice smooth finish. And as a final step before painting, we caulked along all the edges of the molding to seal any gaps and to give it a more polished appearance.
All right, we have sanded, we have caulked, we have gotten rid of the dust, the dirt, we've taped, and finally we are ready to paint. Going to go in with a coat of primer first, and then I've got our paint here. We did decide to go with sea salt, so I'm really excited to see what it looks like up on our walls. We got the 1 coat coverage. Hopefully this should go fairly quickly. I feel like with projects like this, you always think it's going to be painting that's going to take the most time, but it's really all the prep work leading up to that. We're done that now though, so let's start getting paint up on the walls. I can't wait to see what this color looks like in this room.
So after priming, I mainly focused on the doors and all the trim pieces. We waited a few hours for everything to dry and then went in with our sea salt paint. Our strategy was to use a brush for the trim and any areas that were too narrow for our roller to really get in between. But then for anything that was wide enough, I love the look of a space that's been brushed with a roller. It does look just so much more clean and finished. So especially for the wider sections inside the frame, I did try to roll all of those. But it all went on super smoothly and it was so satisfying just watching the space be saturated with color.
It's the next day, you guys, the space is looking so good. I cannot believe just how much character adding paneling throughout the space has added. Now, we're not done. I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but I am planning on making this a little two-part series. So paneling was the first step, but down the road, honestly, it might be after the holidays just because we are coming up on a very busy time of year. But eventually, we're going to add some interest to the top of the walls as well. I'm thinking of doing a really bold, beautiful wallpaper, or even maybe painting our own. I really feel like as we add our furniture back in, as we decorate, the space is going to just come to life. We designed this paneling to exactly match the sideboard. So this is gonna be satisfying. Oh, I love that. Then along this wall, we're gonna add seating. Decided to go with kind of a skinny bench along here. Actually, let me test. This should allow the door to, yeah, it can still open up 90 degrees, a little bit more than that even. It's gonna allow for easy entry and exit. It's gonna be so nice for us having this for guests too. When you're getting ready to head out the door, you can just sit for a minute to put on your shoes. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you, after we finished painting, Christopher was feeling a little extra productive, so he actually installed this light for us. I love how this looks before we just add in one of those basic builder grade lights. This is such an upgrade. And it actually got me thinking too, I don't know if you can see them, but we have two other little like puck lights on this side of the entryway. Would it look good if we just repeated that metal lantern style and just did 3 of them all the way down the hallway? I feel like that would look really good. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of leaning towards yes. I feel like it would be a really cool repeated look that will kind of tie the entire entryway together. Want to start layering in some texture, so I'm going to put our rugs down next. But first, always got to put down a rug pad so that the rug doesn't slip around on the floor. This is going to be our scalloped rug. I'm just trying to center it on the baseboard in this longer section of the entryway. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Then we're gonna put this 2x3 one right by the door. Again, rug pad first. Oh yeah, that's perfect. And I want to lean into a bit more color and pattern here, so I'm thinking just a little pillow like that. I love what the greens and blues here bring out in this molding. And something I feel like always makes a space feel so much cozier and just more inviting, welcoming is side lighting. We don't have any of that in here currently, so I want to use these picture lights and hang them on either side of our table. I'm thinking centered on the frames on either side. I feel like that's gonna help bring in that warmth that we want in here. Love that, and now these can just click, turn on. You can adjust the brightness, how long you want them on for. I just put it on for 30 minutes. Yeah, I love that. Turn it off for now.
Then let's go in with some artwork. I think eventually it would be so cool to do some custom frames, maybe even have Christopher paint us a couple of pieces specifically for the entryway. But for now, I think I'm going to reuse some artwork that I already had up in the house. These are a couple of pictures that I took during our trip to Italy a couple of years back. I love the look of a photo or a piece of art lit up by a frame. The matching one down here. I think that's really nice. And this wall, I want to add a look at this art piece. Honestly, half the reason I chose this paint color was because it married in perfectly with this piece that I picked up when we were in Greece in May. This is an authentic oil painting. Love the European vibes. I was thinking of maybe putting it off to the side like this. And then on this side, look at how pretty. I have 3 of these brass knobs with the little flower detail. I wanted to have a place for guests to hang up their coats, bags, whatever. Up until this point, we didn't have anything. So I'm thinking we do the picture on one side, the hooks on the other. I feel like that would be nice, and that way the picture isn't just hidden behind the door. One down. What do we think for spacing? 9 inches up, maybe like 9 across. I like that. They're looking good. I'm just gonna say, getting these 2 going straight is so much harder than it looks. Last one though. Then just a little detail-y bit. I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of this antique gold rub and buff. Actually, maybe we'll go Grecian gold. Yeah, I think that color is a bit better. That's gonna help these screws just to disappear into the wall. So much better. Then we also added in this vintage mailbox that I picked up earlier this year at an antique festival. I love the little flower detailing on it. I don't know if we'll actually use it or not, but it's really cute. So let's do one last print. I'm thinking over on this wall would look nice. We have to work around the alarm system. Maybe up just a little bit more. Just make sure that's centered. Then that just leaves our entryway table, so let's style that up, and then I'll show you the completed hallway. So I really love an entryway lamp, but for whatever reason, when they made this, I think this is a 12-foot long wall. When they made it, they didn't put an outlet along the entire wall, which feels like a huge miss to me, but I have a solution so that we can still have light even without any kind of wall socket to plug a lamp into. This right here is a battery-powered light bulb. It just screws into a normal base, and then just like with our picture lights, you can turn it on, adjust the brightness, the warmth. I feel like that's such a great solution to, again, bring in some more of that cozy side lighting. I think I want to add maybe a print right here. Nice big vase. Actually, maybe not that one. What do you think about this? Yeah, I'm liking this. Gotta have some kind of dish for keys. And we need, I feel like, just a little fluff. Let's add in a candle. I love the pattern on this taper candle. A matchstick holder. It's fall, so I feel like the dried hydrangeas do work really well, but I did also want to see what it might look like if we went for some fresh ones. Get this out. Ooh, I'm gonna need a smaller cup. Oh, that's pretty too. I feel like especially as these open more, that'll be beautiful. All right, well, our entryway is complete, at least part 1, and I am so excited with how it came out. As a quick reminder, this is what our entryway looked like before. It was a very empty, neglected, and dare I say, lifeless space. And this is what it looks like now. say that we have warmed up this space feels like a bit of an understatement. I love how we brought in character, color, texture. No longer does this space feel forgotten. I love some of the fun and more vintage notes that we've incorporated. All right, but that's everything for today's video. Be sure to let me know what your favorite part of this transformation was in the comments below. And if you have any ideas for how we can even take things up a notch further in part 2, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear any ideas you guys might have. I'm thinking maybe adding arches or molding around the doorways. We talked about wallpaper, carrying the lighting into this side of the hallway. Those are some of the ideas I'm playing around with, but I'd love to hear from you as well. Thank you again so much to Lowe's for sponsoring today's video and making this makeover possible. A quick reminder for links to everything that I featured in today's video. You can just check out the description box below. That's all for now, friends. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, for being here, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye, friends.